So you're building a presence online, and let's be real, you're kind of standing at a crossroads. There's one path, it's called the forgettable brand.
Yeah.
Where you're just kind of tossing content out there, hoping something connects.
Yeah, hoping for the best. Doesn't usually work out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Zero engagement, zero sales, just not much impact. But then there's this other path, the intentional brand.
Right.
This is where you actually own what people associate with you, where your content builds real trust, and crucially, it actually moves people towards making a decision.
And that second path, yeah, the intentional one, that's exactly what this deep dive is all about for you, listening in.
Okay.
We're going to really distill insights from a leading brand strategist. We're talking 16 years of experience here.
Wow.
Yeah, a real secret weapon, actually. Been behind the scenes with names like Gary Vee, Alex Hormozi, helping them just smash through those growth ceilings.
Okay, so that's the mission today then. We're going to cut through all the noise, give you a shortcut, basically, to understanding the core principles.
The strategies that win.
And maybe even some of the common pitfalls, right? Because learning from mistakes is huge.
Oh, absolutely. We're talking real-world execution here. The idea is to save you years of, banging your head against the wall.
Yeah, years of mistakes. So hopefully you'll walk away understanding not just what these strategies are, but really why they matter for your own journey.
Exactly. Let's get into it. Building your intentional brand. Laying the foundation.
Okay, let's dive right into the foundation. What does branding actually mean? Because I feel like for a lot of people, it's this buzzword kind of abstract.
It totally can be, but our strategist puts it really clearly, I think. Good branding is, quote, an intentional pairing of relevant things done consistently.
Okay, intentional pairing.
Yeah.
Consistent.
Right. And the brand itself, that's just the byproduct. It's what happens when your audience just inherently links those things together. They don't even have to think about it.
So it's about making those connections really stick in people's minds. Like those classic examples must really help illustrate this. If I say Nike and Michael Jordan.
Instantly, right. Athletic greatness, basketball,
Yeah.
winning. It's like the perfect example of them intentionally pairing themselves with that idea of greatness.
Yeah.
Or think about Gary Vaynerchuk. He literally wrote Crush It way back, in 2009?
Right, ages ago now.
Yeah. He built his entire brand around content creation, that sheer volume and just consistently showing up. You hear Gary Vee, you think content. Simple as that.
That consistent pairing, it really creates a powerful mental shortcut for people. But it's interesting that the strategist also highlights not just what you associate with, but also what you actively choose to disassociate from. That feels, harder to do sometimes.
It is. It's incredibly important, though, and actually quite tough for many creators. The emphasis is on being really diligent about what you choose not to be linked with. Like, our strategist has personally turned down podcast invites, even from shows with huge audiences, if the host's brand just didn't align.
Really, even with big reach.
Yeah. Their rule is crystal clear. Awareness is not worth the trade if it ties you to negative or just plain wrong associations for your brand. Because people become aware of you through that association.
Okay, I see.
That can actually harm the trust you're trying so hard to build.
That point about active disassociation is really powerful. For someone building their brand, what's maybe a less obvious negative outcome of not making that hard choice, besides just the bad association itself?
Well, beyond just getting linked to something negative, it really muddies the waters of your own brand.
Okay.
If you align with too many things or things that kind of contradict your core message, you just become diluted. Your audience gets confused. They don't know what you stand for.
Right.
And if they don't know, they can't remember you, and they definitely can't refer you. It basically slows down that whole byproduct process of building a strong brand in their mind.
That makes a ton of sense. So, okay, you've defined what you stand for, what you don't stand for. But then the next big challenge is finding your unique spot, your voice, in what's often a really crowded market. How do you stop yourself from just, blending in?
Yeah, blending in is the opposite of the goal. The aim is to find what is missing in your industry and own that gap.
Own the gap, okay.
And this isn't always about inventing something totally brand new. It could be unique information you have, maybe a distinct philosophy, or honestly, sometimes it's just your personality and a fresh take on stuff people already know.
Right.
To find that gap, they suggest asking yourself two really key questions. First, what are the people currently creating content in this space saying that I disagree with?
Okay. Challenge the status quo.
Exactly. And second, How can I take what has been taught for years and bring a fresh perspective to the table?
That's a really powerful way to frame it. It forces you to think critically, not just copy what everyone else is doing.
Precisely. So instead of just echoing the same old stuff, you're challenging it. For example, maybe everyone in your industry is obsessed with going viral, short-term views.
Yeah, happens a lot.
Right. So you could fill the gap by focusing instead on building a long-term trust-based brand. Our strategist points out, look, lots of people talk virality, but who's giving away really in-depth stuff for free about building a brand that actually lasts?
Ah, interesting.
A brand people will actually search for when, inevitably, the algorithms change again. That's their unique gap they decided to own.
I really like that. And speaking of unique, another huge way to stand out, to be truly one of a kind, is your story, right? That's like your secret weapon.
It absolutely is. Nobody else has your specific come-up story, your origin story. It's what makes you, well, you.
Yeah.
The strategist suggests doing an exercise. Just list out those pivotal moments, challenges you overcame, turning points, unique experiences that really shaped how you see things. For them, working with Gary Vee was huge, right? It completely changed their view on content. That's a big part of their story.
That example of editing for 32 hours straight, it really makes hard work feel real, doesn't it? But what if someone doesn't have a huge Gary Vee level story? Can they still tell a compelling story without it sounding, I don't know, forced?
Totally. It's really about finding those small moments that actually reveal bigger truths about you.
Okay.
You don't need some grand dramatic epic. It could be the story of how you solved some tiny, frustrating problem nobody else could figure out that shows you're resourceful. Or maybe a moment of self-doubt you pushed through before launching your first thing that shows perseverance. The key is just being specific and authentic. Instead of saying, I'm a hard worker, yeah, tell that story about staying up all night for a client because you were just so determined to deliver. Authenticity connects way more than hype.
Okay, so authenticity is key. You've crafted your unique story. You're maybe showing some vulnerability to build trust. You've got a strong foundation. But we know audiences, especially if you're teaching something, can be skeptical. How do you proactively tackle that, why should I trust this feeling?
You hit it head on in your content. Don't wait for the skeptical comments to roll in.
Ah, okay. Proactive.
Yeah. Look at your comment section, see the common doubts, and start answering those questions before they're even asked. It's like a good sales letter, right? It overcomes objections before the call even happens. Your content should do the same thing.
Right.
It builds massive trust, huge credibility, and just removes friction for people to actually take the next step.
And part of that trust, being human, means not being a robot,
Oh.
right? So many creators seem to struggle with that on camera, like they're afraid to show anything but perfection.
It's such a common challenge, and yeah, it creates this weird disconnect. Being human means sharing not just the wins, but also the losses, the failures, and crucially, what you learned from them.
Yeah, the lessons learned bit is important.
Super important. Losses are often way more relatable than just constant wins, and we can all learn from them. If you only ever show the highlight reel, people get skeptical fast. Vulnerability, when it's shared with a purpose, that builds connection, trust. There was this client example. She totally transformed her brand, went from being this kind of information overload robot to someone really relatable just by sharing more of her personality and, yeah, some of her losses, too. People connected way more deeply.
That shift from just perfect info to authentic human makes so much sense. How else can creators figure out what really lands with their audience? Like, where do you look for that feedback beyond just the obvious comments?
Look around you. How do your friends see you? Your coworkers, your existing audience, what do they actually praise you for? What do they admire? What keeps them coming back?
Okay, so tap into existing perceptions.
Exactly. Use that feedback to sharpen your positioning, double down on your strengths. The strategist mentioned noticing clients kept bringing up his energy and personality on calls. So what did he do? He leaned into it more in his content. It's about being authentically you, and then letting your audience basically tell you what they appreciate about that unique you.
Okay, so once you have that self-awareness, that audience feedback,
Right.
how do you make the entire brand journey intentional? Like from day one all the way to scaling up. I know our strategist has a framework for this.
Yeah. It's a really powerful 4-question framework. It helps you start with the end goal in mind and then basically reverse engineer your brand.
Okay, what are the questions?
First, what is the desired outcome you want? Like, what's the big goal? Second, what would you have to be known for in order for that outcome to happen?
Right, the reputation needed.
Exactly. Third, what would you have to do to be known for that? What are the actions, the content? And finally, fourth, What do you have to learn to be able to do those things?
Okay. Learn, do, be known for, achieve, outcome.
Precisely. This framework is great because it helps filter your topics. It stops you from building a brand around something you don't actually care about, which leads to burnout, right?
Throw it.
And it ensures every single piece of content is actually serving that bigger purpose.
That really brings a lot of clarity to the whole thing. And then for this foundational part, how do you actually structure your brand story itself to build that really deep, lasting loyalty you talked about?
Yeah, there's a specific structure they recommend, a 3-step storytelling framework. Catalyst, core truth, and proof.
Catalyst, core truth, proof. Okay.
So the catalyst is basically what you see that others maybe don't. Like, the example given was seeing brands scale with views, but having no real clarity in their message. That's the problem you identified.
Got it. The observation.
Then the core truth. This is what you believe that others might not. Like your conviction that a strong brand isn't just about fleeting virality, it's built by that intentional pairing and consistency we talked about.
Your unique belief or philosophy.
Exactly. And finally, proof. This is how you continually back that up with your actions. So maybe it's building businesses to millions and then transparently sharing exactly how you did it for free.
Walking the talk.
That's it. If you nail these 3 catalysts, core truth, proof your brand doesn't just have a story. It inspires real, unwavering loyalty. 2, crafting a winning content strategy, execution and optimization.
Okay, so we've really unpacked those foundational brand elements, which is huge. That sets the stage. But now, taking that intentionality and applying it to the actual creation, the content strategy, that's where it gets exciting. But also where a lot of people hit their next wall. Like, what exactly should I be talking about? Go wide. Niche down.
Yeah, that's the $1,000,000 question, isn't it? The initial advice is definitely start narrow.
Okay, narrow first.
Build that early trust. Get known for being really great at one specific thing. But, and this is key, it doesn't mean you only talk about that one thing forever.
Right.
The strategist suggests an 80-20 rule, so 80% of your content. That hammers home your one main thing, the thing you want to be known for.
Okay, the core focus.
Exactly. But the other 20%, that's where you round yourself out and be more human. This is where interest stacking comes in.
Interest stacking. So like if you're that brand strategist, you can still talk about your love for motorcycles.
Exactly. It does 2 things. Makes you more interesting, more relatable, and honestly, it helps you avoid creator burnout.
Yeah, I can see that. Huge.
So to help pick topics, they suggest 3 guiding questions. First, what are you genuinely passionate about discussing? Because that passion, it comes through. You can't fake
That's
it.
true.
Second, what will resonate with your audience most right now? Address their current pain points, their immediate needs. Is it organic content strategy they're struggling with? Or paid ads?
Focus there.
Meet them where they are.
Precisely. And third, maybe the most important, what will cause your audience to change their actions the most? You want to drive real education, real impact, not just have them passively scroll by.
Okay, passion, relevance, impact. Got it. So once you know what to talk about, you got to pick your mediums. Video, writing, audio. So many choices. How do you decide? Well, the main thing is play to your strengths and think long-term sustainability.
Right, what can you stick with?
Exactly. The strategist breaks down 4 key mediums: written content, video, audio, and graphics design. Written, for instance, great for LinkedIn, Twitter X, Facebook, newsletters. And they specifically highlight LinkedIn as of early 2025, calling it the hottest platform.
Really? Why LinkedIn specifically?
Apparently, it's really matured into more of a social platform now, not just job hunting. And there's true virality happening through comments and engagement. So lots of potential there.
Interesting. That's a big shift. And for graphics, they mentioned an Instagram account that does a great job simplifying things visually.
Yeah, visualize value. It's a perfect example of how powerful visuals can be for complex ideas. Look, if you're just starting out feeling overwhelmed, just pick one medium. Master that first.
Okay.
But hey, if you've got the team, the bandwidth, the skills, go for it. Use all 4. Integrate them.
And once you've got your mediums sorted, then it's platform choice.
Yeah.
Is the goal to be like everywhere at once, spread thin?
No, definitely not. The recommendation is really prioritize 2 to 3 platforms for your original content. Don't try to be everywhere.
Quality over quantity of platforms.
Kind of. And start where you feel most comfortable, just to build the habit. They compare it to powerlifting. Maybe just go to the gym for 10 minutes, 5 days a week initially. Just get the consistency going.
Okay, build the muscle first.
Yeah. And then, critically, ask, where is my audience? Make an educated guess, sure, but then you have to test it. See where the actual leads are coming from.
Test and verify.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What about that classic debate? Long form versus short form content. Is one better or do they play different roles?
They play very different but really complementary roles. Short form,
Hmm.
lower barrier to entry, great for awareness, getting your name out there, brand recognition.
Top of funnel kind of.
Exactly. But long form, that's really where the conversion actually happens. It's where you demonstrate deep expertise, build that authority, and it leverages something called the sunk cost fallacy.
Sunk cost fallacy. How does that apply here?
Well, it's that psychological thing where the more time someone invests in something, or in this case, consuming your content, the more likely they are to follow through on an offer or take the next step.
Ah, because they've already put in the time.
Right. They gave the example of Harley-Davidson dealerships.
Hmm.
They get you to invest a lot of time in the buying process before they talk final numbers.
Oh,
Same
yeah.
principle. The more time spent with you, the higher the trust and willingness to act.
That's really clever. So it sounds like chasing views and likes isn't the main goal then, if the real conversion happens in longer content.
Precisely. The strategist really warns against building your whole strategy around vanity metrics if your goal isn't just, internet fame.
Right. Yeah.
You should optimize for actions. It's actually better, they argue, to have maybe 30–40% fewer likes and views, but have that audience convert at a much higher percentage.
Focus on the outcome.
Always. Map your content strategy directly to your desired outcome. Is it clients, music streams, getting hired for gigs? Optimize for that.
Okay, that brings us to the age-old quality versus quantity debate. Everyone seems to have a different take. What's the approach here?
Yeah, it's addressed with something called the accordion method.
The accordion method. Okay, intriguing.
First, they clarify. Quantity isn't just about reach. It's mainly for data acquisition, getting learnings, and quality. Well, they argue your audience is who determines what quality is, not you.
Ooh, okay. That's a big statement. The audience decides quality.
Right. So the accordion method goes like this. You post high volume in the beginning, lots of content. Why? To quickly learn what your specific audience thinks is quality, what resonates, what gets engagement, what do they watch longer.
So volume first for burning.
Exactly. Then once you have those insights, that data, you compress the accordion. You put more effort per piece into the types of content that are actually working.
Okay. Focus the effort based on data.
Yeah. Think about it. Some of the most viral videos ever were filmed on like a shaky phone in the dark, right? Quality is subjective. It's often about relevance, connection, timing, not just slick production.
So volume helps you find what your audience defines as quality, then you focus your effort there.
Okay.
What about the highest leverage platform in this whole strategy?
So that's defined as a platform that's giving you the most results, leads, engagement, whatever your goal is, A&D. Importantly, one that lets you repurpose content easily.
Okay, results plus repurposing potential.
Yep. Long-form content, like a YouTube video, is usually very high leverage for this reason. You can pull out tons of shorts, quotes for text platforms, use the transcript. One big effort feeds many smaller pieces.
Right, makes sense.
And they really emphasize doubling down on the platforms that show high conversion rates, even if the raw audience numbers seem smaller initially. Like maybe LinkedIn is bringing in fewer eyeballs, but a much higher percentage of qualified leads. Focus there. Effectiveness over just sheer reach.
And to get those crucial learnings fast, they really push for increasing volume early on, even if the content feels a bit raw.
Absolutely. The whole idea is to know what your audience deems as quality as quickly as possible. Don't guess.
Get the data.
Get the data. They shared an example. A previous team started their YouTube efforts posting 3 videos a week, then ramped up to 5. Not heavily edited, just getting stuff out there purely for learning acquisition.
Wow, 5 a week. That's a lot.
It is. But that data then told them exactly where to put more effort per piece later on. And that's what led to faster growth in subs and views down the line. The key takeaway is, don't make subjective calls about your content quality without real audience data backing you up.
Which leads right into avoiding the perfect post trap.
Yeah.
It's so easy to get stuck tweaking forever before hitting publish.
Oh, totally. Perfect is the enemy of posted. That's the mantra.
Yeah, I like that.
The advice isn't necessarily post daily if that's just not sustainable for you. Focus on consistent output, even if it's less frequent. Maybe it's one really well-done long-form video a month, but you put serious effort into it.
Find your sustainable rhythm.
Right. Now, the strategist admits, look, having insights from meeting with like 2,000 businesses gives him a head start. He can afford to put more effort per piece right away because he has a stronger hypothesis.
Okay.
But for most creators starting out, High volume initially is usually key to get that audience feedback loop going fast. Bottom line. Speed wins, get the content out there, learn from it, make the next piece better. Don't wait for perfection that never comes.
Okay, speed wins. Iterate fast. So once you are posting consistently and learning, how do you scale that content creation efficiently without, reinventing the wheel constantly?
You use what's called a pillar content approach.
Pillar content. Oh,
This is your big stuff, your long-form, deep dive content, maybe a major YouTube video, a long podcast, a detailed blog post. Then you mine it.
mine it. Like digging for gold.
Kind of. It means extracting all those bite-sized chunks, short clips, key quotes, summaries from that main pillar piece to use on other platforms.
Oh, repurposing.
Exactly. This is basically Gary Vee's famous waterfall distribution model. He pioneered taking one long piece, like a Daily V episode, and pulling out literally thousands of smaller posts from it.
Thousands. Wow.
Yeah. Practically, it means maybe breaking down that YouTube video into several short-form clips for TikTok or Reels, pulling out impactful quotes for Twitter or X or Threads, rewriting sections for LinkedIn or Facebook, maybe even using a LinkedIn post as an Instagram caption. It's about getting maximum mileage from your highest effort content.
That sounds incredibly efficient.
Yeah.
And they even mentioned something called the Eye of Sauron scaling approach. What's that about? Sounds intense.
It is intense focus. It means pouring the vast majority of your creative energy and resources into scaling one primary platform at a time, while the others are more on maintenance mode, just keeping them ticking over.
Okay, laser focus on one platform's growth.
Yeah. And specifically, as of early 2025, they advise increasing the effort per post on that primary platform. So maybe instead of 5 decent LinkedIn posts, you consolidate that effort into 3 really extensive, high-value posts.
Interesting. Why higher effort per post now?
The reasoning is that often one massive hit is more valuable than several smaller ones. Like 1 million view YouTube video often brings in a higher percentage of new audience than, say, 4 videos that each get 250,000 views.
Ah, because it breaks through to new people.
Exactly. It's a strategy Mr. Beast uses famously: lower volume, but insane effort per video to maximize impact and reach new viewers. It's about constantly building off your best work, learning from what hit big, and trying to replicate that success to attract fresh eyeballs.
This all sounds like, well, a lot of work, which it is. How do you make this whole content creation engine sustainable for the long haul so you don't just burn out in 6 months?
Yeah, sustainability is everything. The
Yeah.
core idea is simple. Play for the long term.
Okay.
And that means, first off, if you genuinely hate making videos, you're probably not going to stick with it for years. So don't force yourself into a medium you despise.
Okay. Play to your strengths and enjoyment.
Exactly. Content creation needs to feel sustainable for years, not weeks. So build what they call a simple content machine. Set a realistic baseline you could hit. Maybe it's 1 YouTube video every 2 weeks, 3 shorts a week, whatever it is. Execute that consistently before you even think about raising the bar.
Start simple, prove consistency, then scale.
Precisely. Batching content, like filming multiple videos in one day, can work for some people. But be careful, sometimes that pressure can lead to lower quality or feeling rushed. You gotta align the strategy with your own energy, your schedule.
Makes sense.
And ultimately, the biggest step for true long-term sustainability is often to remove yourself from the execution.
Build a team?
Build a team. That's the ultimate leverage.
And when you are filming, especially if you're the talent or working with talent, how do you create an environment that actually supports them, keeps them motivated, given how draining it can be?
Oh, this is so critical for keeping good people and getting their best work. A couple of key things. Videographers, or whoever is behind the camera, should give real-time visual feedback.
Visual feedback, like what?
Simple stuff, like nodding when a point lands well, maybe a quick thumbs up, or even just saying, "Great point," quietly. It helps a person on camera feel seen, feel confident, know what's working.
That makes sense. Little encouragements.
Yeah. And then after filming, maybe 15, 20 minutes later, send a positive message. Don't just say, "Good job." Call out specific moments. "Hey, I was really impressed with how you explained X," or "You really pushed through even when Y happened."
Be specific with the praise.
Exactly. It builds this positive association with film days, turns them from something potentially dreadful into something, well, actually rewarding.
That's a really smart, human-centered approach.
Yeah.
Okay, what about systematizing the repurposing? We talked about mining pillar content.
Mhm.
Is it just about chopping things up, or is there like a more advanced version?
Clipping stuff out is kind of the starting point, the 1.0. The 2.0 version, as they put it, is
Yeah.
making the repurposed content truly contextual to the platform itself.
Contextual, meaning,
Meaning, it's natively designed for that platform. It understands the nuances, the audience expectations, the format of where it's being posted. It's not just a copy-paste job.
okay, adapt the core idea, don't just duplicate the file.
Perfect way to put it. They gave an example. A client had a, quote, go viral on Twitter. Instead of just screenshotting it for Instagram, they took the idea of the quote and created a new, aesthetically pleasing Instagram graphic. That graphic success then informed the hook for a short-form video. And that eventually led to a more in-depth, long-form YouTube video exploring the concept fully.
Wow, so one core idea cascaded across platforms, but adapted each time.
Exactly. Translating the idea, not just cloning the content.
Finally, for this section, what about the creator's own personal energy? When are you sharpest? Does that play a role in content strategy? It feels like it could be a hidden factor.
Oh, it's huge. It really comes down to knowing thyself.
Know thyself. Okay.
Schedule your most demanding content creation tasks. Writing, filming, strategizing around your peak energy times. If you're sharpest in the morning, block that time out religiously.
Protect that creative time.
Yes. Protect your creative and content time like it's the most important meeting on your calendar. Because it is. If you're constantly rescheduling it, pushing it back, what message does that send to your team or even to yourself?
Yeah, that it's not a priority.
Exactly. It impacts morale, output, everything. Respect your own creative process, respect your team's time that supports it. It's fundamental. 3, assembling a high-performing team.
Okay, we've laid the brand foundation, we've mapped out the content strategy. Now let's talk about the people who actually make it all happen, the team. Why is the team just everything, really?
Because your team is quite literally a multiplier of the vision. They're how you build something way, way bigger than you ever could alone.
A multiplier, I like that.
And the hiring philosophies here are absolutely critical. Number 1, hire for culture fit, maybe even slightly over pure skills sometimes.
Culture first. Why?
Because culture is incredibly hard to train. Skills, you can teach those. But alignment with values, work ethic, attitude, much harder. Second, make sure every hire clearly aligns with your brand goals and your specific platform goals. And third, remember, you're hiring people to solve problems, not just fill a seat.
Solve problems, not fill roles.
Okay.
And the warning here is stark. A bad hire doesn't just slow you down a bit, it massively slows you down. Costs you time, money, opportunity, team morale. It's a huge setback.
Okay, so the stakes are high. Before you even think about posting a job ad, you need to be crystal clear on your actual needs, right? How do you pinpoint those bottlenecks?
Absolutely. You hire based on your biggest constraints or bottlenecks. Where's the process breaking down or slowing down? Ask yourself 3 specific questions.
Okay, question 1.
What tasks are taking the most time away from my highest value work? Like, if you're the main strategist, should you be spending hours editing videos? Probably not.
Right, identify your own time drains. Question 2. What's slowing down the overall execution? Is content getting stuck in editing? Are you not generating enough new ideas? Where's the logjam?
Find the bottleneck in the workflow. And 3,
What content opportunities are currently being missed simply due to lack of resources? Maybe you know you should be doing more YouTube, but you just don't have the capacity.
identify the missed opportunities.
Exactly. Answering these ensures every hire directly addresses a real problem and should ideally speed things up immediately.
And it sounds like this isn't about hiring like a social media manager who does everything,
Yeah.
but getting more specific, especially now.
That's exactly right. The advice is strongly towards hiring channel-specific managers or specialists, like hire a great LinkedIn writer, not just a generalist. Why? Because these platforms are so fragmented now, each requires really deep, specific expertise.
Right, the skills for TikTok are totally different from LinkedIn.
Totally different. The strategists use their own example. Early on, they prioritized hiring a freelance LinkedIn writer over a video editor. Why? Because LinkedIn was driving the leads at that time. It directly solved a lead gen bottleneck.
Okay, solve the immediate biggest problem first. So once you know the specific need, how do you actually define that role clearly and streamline the hiring to attract the right person?
You have to articulate everything you need for the role, way beyond just the basic job function. Think about specific work hours, communication styles, required response times, maybe even specific software proficiency.
Get really granular.
Super granular. Ask internal questions to get that clarity. Is this role mainly about creating, managing, analyzing? Are they focused on one platform or juggling several? And always, how does this specific role contribute to the bigger brand mission? That level of clarity is crucial for writing the job description and for interviewing.
And they have a framework for writing those job descriptions too, right? The 4 Rs.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you cover all the bases.
Yep. The 4 Rs makes it super clear. First R is role, the job title and its core purpose. Second is responsibilities, the day-to-day tasks they'll actually be doing.
Okay. Role responsibilities.
Third R is requirements, the non-negotiable skills and experience needed. Be specific, like 3+ years growing a personal brand or strong background in filming 80 editing short-form video.
Got it. And the 4th R.
Results. What does success look like? What are the measurable outcomes? Things like minimum of 2 high-quality YouTube videos published per month, or posting at least 2 written and 2 video posts per week on LinkedIn that meet engagement targets.
So it's super clear what's expected.
Exactly. And they add 2 crucial, often missed pieces: communication and cadence expectations, how and when you expect updates, and a section explicitly outlining your company's core values.
Okay, that's comprehensive. Now, the actual hiring process itself, they recommend a pretty detailed funnel, it sounds like. No shortcuts allowed.
Absolutely no shortcuts here. A rigorous multi-stage process is key to filtering effectively and spotting red flags early. It usually looks something like this.
Okay, lay it out.
Stage 1, application review, obviously. Stage 2, screening call, and critically include some technical questions here to weed out generic, maybe even AI-generated answers.
Good tip.
Stage 3, technical interview, really digging into their strategic thinking and how they'd execute. Stage 4 is often a technical assessment, maybe give editors raw footage, writers a prompt, optional, but useful.
Test the actual skill. Makes sense.
Stage 5, culture interview. How do they fit with the team, the values? Stage 6, final interview, usually with key decision makers. The goal through all this: aim for maybe an 80% fit on paper, and then have an honest chat with your team about that remaining 20% before you make the offer.
80% fit.
Interesting. And throughout that whole process, they really emphasize prioritizing culture fit,
Sometimes even over perfect technical skill. That still feels a bit counterintuitive to some folks.
It can seem that way, yeah. But the argument is really compelling when you hear it. Technical skills. Honestly, most smart, motivated people can learn those remarkably fast.
Okay.
But those core traits, things like hunger, empathy, adaptability, drive, those are much harder, maybe impossible to teach.
Right. Innate quality.
Exactly. They shared a great story about a hire, Jason Leva. His first editing test wasn't the absolute best technically, but his sheer hunger to learn, his positive attitude, his ability to take direct feedback and iterate instantly, that made him invaluable. He quickly surpassed others who maybe had more initial skill, but less drive.
Wow.
So the mantra is crystal clear: hire for mindset and train for execution.
Hire for mindset, train for execution. I like that. And it also sounds like you need to match the type of creative thinking needed for each specific platform.
Precisely. Each platform demands a different flavor of creativity. For TikTok and Instagram, short-form land, you need someone truly immersed in the trends who gets fast-paced editing, understands the psychology of grabbing and holding attention in seconds.
Yeah, it's a whole different language.
Totally. A red flag there. Someone obsessed with high production value, but who doesn't grasp the importance of the hook or native platform feel. For LinkedIn, mostly written, you need a writer skilled in crafting high-value, concise content that sparks conversation.
Concise and conversational.
Right. A red flag. Someone stuck in overly formal corporate speak, human and personable wins on LinkedIn now. And for YouTube, long form. You need an editor who deeply understands storytelling structure, especially that crucial opening 15-30 seconds. Someone who can create tension, use open loops to keep people watching.
Keep watch time up.
Exactly. A red flag there. An editor focused only on traditional, maybe broadcast-style production that just feels out of place or too slow for YouTube's native environment. Like, perfect lighting for a gritty run-and-gun vlog doesn't make sense.
Match the style to the platform. Okay, so when you first decide to hire, should you go big right away or start small?
Definitely start small and grow intentionally. There's a strong warning against over-hiring too early.
Why is that?
Because a small, high-impact, nimble SEAL Team 6 style team is often much more effective, especially early on. You need people who are willing initially to be multifunctional, to wear multiple hats. Your first video person probably needs to shoot and edit.
Right, generalists who can specialize later.
Exactly. The process is gradual. 1, start with those multi-role hires. 2, as they work, rigorously document the processes they develop, define the workflows. 3, then, as you scale and have proving processes, you can specialize. Split roles, maybe hire a dedicated shooter and a dedicated editor for greater efficiency and deeper mastery.
Start lean, document, then specialize.
Got it. Now, a huge question for founders. Full-time employees versus contractors or agencies.
Yeah.
What's the breakdown? When is each the right move?
Yeah, this is a big one. They laid out a pretty clear comparison budget-wise.
Yeah.
Full-time is a higher ongoing cost, obviously. Contractors' agencies are usually lower upfront, more project-based.
Okay, what about control? Control and commitment. Much higher with full-time employees, you get that long-term dedication. Less direct control with contractors, it's project-focused. Specialization. Contractors often bring immediate niche expertise. Full-time allows you to train and develop skills in-house over time.
Brand consistency.
Generally easier with brand consistency if folks are full-time, living and breathing the brand. Takes more oversight with external partners. And scalability. Full-time is great for building your core culture, developing internal leaders. Contractors' agencies are super useful for testing theories quickly, running short sprints, or temporarily scaling up for specific needs like a product launch.
Okay, that's helpful comparison. How does that map onto different growth stages, like year 1 versus year 5?
Good question. The suggested approach is staged. Year 01. Rely primarily on contractors and agencies. Stay lean, test ideas, validate platforms without huge fixed costs. The founder is usually still very hands-on.
Okay, lean and testing early.
Years 1 to 3. Start transitioning critical, high-impact roles in-house. If YouTube is crushing it for you, maybe hire that full-time editor now. Reduce agency scope, perhaps more towards consulting or specialized projects.
Bring core functions in-house.
Right. Year 3 plus. Focus shifts to building internal leadership. You might still use niche agencies or contractors, but more for highly specialized tasks or temporary surges, not core functions.
Makes sense. Okay, so you finally hired someone great. But the onboarding, that's often where things fall down, right?
Oh, massively. A poor onboarding process leads to weeks or months of wasted productivity and a demotivated employee. It's a critical failure point.
So what does good onboarding look like?
They recommend a structured 30, 60, 90-day approach. First 30 days. Focus on the basics. Get their tech set up, be crystal clear about initial expectations, give them some small, achievable wins early on, lots of check-ins, have them shadow senior team members, maybe work on internal projects first to learn the ropes without high stakes.
Ease them in, build confidence.
Exactly. Next 30 days, hitting the 60-day mark, they should start taking independent ownership of their core responsibilities. Still support, but less hand-holding.
Okay.
Final 30 days, reaching the 90-day mark. By now, they should be taking full ownership, becoming a critical contributor, really integrated into the team's workflow.
Structured and supportive.
Got it.
Beyond that initial onboarding, how do you keep developing and, crucially, retaining those high performers once they're up and running?
It boils down to consistent investment in them. That means things like strategic education, maybe sending them to workshops or buying relevant courses.
Okay, invest in their skills.
Yeah, and foster internal training loops. Have senior people mentor junior ones, but also let newer hires train up on technical skills they might be stronger in, creates a culture of learning, and critically, understand their long-term career goals.
Know where they want to go?
Yes, and actively look for opportunities within your company that align with that path. If your content strategist wants to be a creative director eventually, give them projects that build those skills. Show them a future with you.
That's huge for retention. And a big part of that development and just keeping people engaged is effective one-on-ones, right?
Absolutely. Consistent structured feedback is the antidote to disengagement, which can just silently kill productivity and morale.
So what should be covered in those one-on-ones?
They suggest a few key areas, talk about their workload, identify any blockers they're facing, revisit those long-term goals, how are they tracking, identify new learning opportunities together, and really importantly, create space for giving and receiving feedback. Feedback on their work, yes, but also feedback on your leadership.
Two-way feedback. Crucial.
Creates that culture of continuous improvement and shows you value their perspective.
Okay, so to kind of wrap up the team building section, what are the absolute core takeaways, the big principles?
Okay, rapid fire. Push ownership down. Empower your team. Don't micromanage. Make leadership a habit. Encourage everyone to lead trainings, projects, initiatives. Tie their growth to the company's growth. Show them how their work directly impacts the bottom line, revenue, success. Makes it tangible. Go deep, not wide. Encourage specialization. It builds expertise, makes them more valuable, and usually leads to higher quality execution. And finally, those structured check-ins we just talked about, non-negotiable for progress and connection.
Awesome summary. And all of this, done right, contributes to building a strong team culture, which can feel kind of fuzzy sometimes. How do you make it concrete?
Yeah, culture isn't accidental. A good team culture is shaped by intentional decisions, day in, day out. It starts with defining your core values and then religiously reinforcing them through who you hire, how you make decisions, how you recognize good work, how you handle mistakes.
Live the values.
Exactly. Discuss work models openly, in person, hybrid, remote, what works best for productivity and team cohesion. Be flexible where possible based on roles and individual needs, but ultimately remember, culture isn't the posters on the wall, it's the sum total of actions and how people consistently treat each other. 5E, monetizing your brand thoughtfully.
All right, this is the big one for many. We've built the intentional brand, we've got the content engine humming, we've assembled the dream team. Now, how do we actually monetize all this? But thoughtfully, right? Without selling out or killing the trust we've worked so hard to build.
Yeah, this is where so many people stumble. The single biggest mistake, monetizing too early, pushing offers before that deep trust is really cemented.
The temptation must be huge, though.
Oh, it is. We all want to see a return on our effort, right? It's natural. But the strategist is really clear. Trust is the currency that precedes the transaction. You got to earn the trust first. They push for a best-case scenario approach, playing the long game.
Trust is the currency. Okay, so before you even think about selling anything, it sounds like there are some foundational pillars your brand absolutely needs to have in place first. What are they?
Yes, 3 key pillars. Before monetization, your brand must: 1, provide an unbelievable amount of value up front. Your audience needs to feel like they're constantly winning just by following you.
Over-deliver on free value. Okay, pillar 2.
Demonstrate undeniable credibility and expertise. You need to be seen as the go-to authority, the trusted source in your niche.
Be the expert. And 3.
Build genuine community. Cultivate those loyal fans, the super fans, who feel connected to you and to each other around your brand. Without those 3 massive value, credibility, community trying to monetize is just an uphill battle.
Value, credibility, community. Got it.
Yeah.
So, assuming those pillars are strong, what are some of the different ways creators can actually start to monetize? What models are out there?
There are 5 core models they outlined. First, products. This could be physical goods or digital things like courses, ebooks, templates.
Okay, selling stuff.
Second, services. Think coaching, consulting, done-for-you services where your team actually executes for clients. Third, affiliate marketing and partnerships, promoting other people's products you genuinely use and believe in. But a huge warning here. Be ruthless about protecting your brand association. Only partner with things that truly align.
Right, don't just shill anything. What else?
Fourth, community and memberships. This is about recurring revenue. Think exclusive content, private masterminds, online groups, paid newsletters. It's creating a premium hub for your most dedicated superfans.
Okay, recurring revenue models. And fifth
is ads and content monetization. Things like YouTube ad revenue, podcast sponsorships, ads in your newsletter. But it's important to note this is usually more of an add-on strategy for brands that already have significant traffic and have been around a while. It's unlikely to earn much in the early days.
So ads are more of a scale play later on. That's a great overview. What about figuring out what specific offers to create? Any pro tips there?
Yeah, really simple but powerful one. Just listen, check your email inbox, look through your DMs, read your comment sections carefully. More than likely, the strategist says, you can see what your audience is already asking for.
They're telling you what they want to buy.
Exactly. When you create an offer that directly solves a problem they're already talking about, conversions just become so much easier. You're meeting an existing demand. It's like a cheat code, really.
That makes so much sense. But okay, let's address that common fear. If I'm giving away so much amazing value for free upfront, why would anyone ever pay me for anything? What's the thinking behind share the knowledge, sell the execution?
Yeah, it's a valid fear, but the thinking is actually counterintuitive. The reality is, the more value you give, the more demand you create.
More free value equals more demand. How?
Because that incredible free value builds immense trust and positions you as the expert. Your best free content should be so good, so impactful, it literally compels people to want more or to get your direct help implementing it. They'll happily pay for the actual execution, the personalized guidance, the system, or the accountability, even if they understand the concepts from your free stuff.
So the free stuff proves your value, making them want the paid stuff.
Precisely. You're basically teaching your audience that listening to you and acting on your advice provides massive returns. It's a powerful signal.
Okay, so when it comes time to actually make an ask, a call to action, do you just hit them with a hard sell in every video or post?
No, definitely not. That's a surefire way to annoy and alienate your audience. They strongly advise against constant right hooks or overly salesy pitches in your organic content. They usually just flop anyway.
So what's the alternative?
The best case scenario, ideally, is you give tons of value organically, build that trust, and then you use paid retargeting ads to show specific offers only to people who've already engaged deeply with your free content.
Target the warm audience with paid ads.
Oh.
What if you don't have a budget for paid ads yet?
Then use very soft asks, usually right at the end of your valuable organic content. Something like, hey, if implementing all this seems like a nightmare, my team and I actually help folks with this. Very low-key. The philosophy is, let the content do the selling, not me. The value itself should create the desire.
Let the content do the selling. I like that. Okay, we've talked a lot about social platforms. Where does email fit into all this? Content strategy, monetization. It feels kind of old school sometimes, but still important.
Oh, email is absolutely critical. It's your direct access line to your audience. Think about it. Getting someone's email address is a massive request. They have to leave the app they're in, type it in. It's a big commitment.
True. You have to earn it.
You have to earn it, which means you must offer massive value in return for that opt-in. Not just sign up for updates, offer tangible things. Valuable playbooks, checklists, free mini courses, deeper dives that go way beyond your public content.
Make the opt-in irresistible.
Exactly. And then once you have their email, respect it. The advice is to send emails only when you have true actual value to deliver, not just because it's Tuesday and you feel you should send something. Avoid fixed cadences if they lead to low-value emails. People tune out fast.
Quality over quantity for email, too.
Absolutely. Their own 2025 strategy is interesting. Give away a full, high-value course free on YouTube. But within the videos, embed calls to action to download free supplementary playbooks or SOPs from their website in exchange for an email.
So the email unlock gives them practical tools related to the free course.
Yeah.
Clever.
It's a reciprocal relationship built entirely on delivering value at every step.
It really seems like it all comes back to playing the long game with monetization, doesn't it? And protecting that trust above everything else.
That is the absolute core message. It's all about long-term retention. Think about building a loyal audience, like nurturing fans of a great Netflix series, not just chasing a one-hit viral video.
Series, not single. Got it.
And the most critical rule, the one they repeat over and over, protect your reputation at all costs. Short-term cash grabs, affiliate promotions that feel off-brand, pushing products before they're ready. They might give you a quick bump, but the long-term trust degradation is massive and often irreversible.
Yeah, trust is hard to win back once it's broken.
Extremely hard. So before any monetization move, you have to ask yourself one simple, brutal question. Will this increase trust with my audience or decrease trust?
Increase or decrease trust.
Yeah.
That's the filter.
That's the ultimate filter. And if the honest answer is decrease, then it is not worth it, period. No amount of short-term money is worth sacrificing that long-term trust, because establishing that immense amount of trust first, that's the only way to build a brand that can continue to be profitable sustainably day after day after day. Outro.
Wow. Okay, what a deep dive that was. We've really covered the whole journey, haven't we? From truly defining what an intentional brand even is,
Laying that foundation,
to crafting a winning content strategy, the nuts and bolts of execution, then getting into the complexities of building and leading a high-performing team.
which is so crucial, the multiplier effect.
Yeah. And finally, landing on how to approach monetization thoughtfully. Always, always prioritizing that hard-earned trust.
Absolutely. And this whole deep dive, it was really designed to be that shortcut for you, listening in, to give you the most critical, actionable insights from people who've actually done it, real-world execution.
Yeah, save you some of those years of mistakes we talked about.
Exactly. The goal was to make you truly well-informed, not just on the what, but really digging into the why behind these strategies, why they actually work.
So now, the big question really goes over to you, the listener. Thinking about everything we've unpacked today. What is the single most impactful thing you can actually go and implement, maybe even this week, to start moving your brand closer to that intentional path?
Yeah, take a moment. Reflect on where you are right now on your own brand journey. How can applying just one or two of these insights start creating that deeper engagement, building that stronger community, driving more sustainable growth for you? It really is about building the impact you've envisioned, one intentional step at a time.